So in this video, I'm going to talk about some tips for beginner traders just getting started on their journey, but regardless of your experience level, you can really apply this to you and I'm sure you'll find some value. And the main reason for this video is because I wish I had known some of these when I was getting started out, and I think that going over this today is going to really make traders realize where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are, what they can improve on, so that way they can become better overall traders. Because if you can figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are in the beginning of your journey, you understand what you're good at and what you're not, so that way you can adjust and make progress a lot faster. Still takes a really long time to figure this trading thing out, but having a really good understanding of what you excel at and what you don't will help you get to the finish line a little bit sooner. So now let's go over the tips. And tip number one is going to be risk management is everything. I don't care how good your strategy is, if you do not do a good job at managing risk, none of it matters. I don't care how high that win rate is or how good you believe your strategy is, because all it takes is that one trade for everything to go south, and that can ruin all of it. And that's why at the foundation of a successful trader is solid risk management. If you make this one of the most important things that you focus on every single day, you'll have a much better chance at succeeding. And tip number two is going to be focus on process, not profit. Most new traders think about profit. I was guilty of doing the same thing. You think about money, because when it comes to the market, that's what basically says if we're succeeding or we aren't. Are we making money or are we losing money? But if you solely just focus on money, you're never really going to figure it out. You're going to struggle a lot longer than you need to. It's all about putting together a process, a system, setups that you know work well for you, executing well on those each and every day, systematically making sure that you continuously do so, and then manage risk well, and then that's what's going to lead to consistent profitability. If you just get caught up in the money and the profit and you don't see the results that you really want, you're going to start to deviate from that process. You're not really going to trust your system. You're going to bounce all over the place, and that's what's going to lead to inconsistency. You need to come up with a routine and a process that you can go to every single day, because if you do those repeatable things, that's what's going to lead to a positive outcome. And tip number three is going to be to don't rely on copying others. You need to become independent. I was guilty of doing this too. I thought that the trader who seems to be doing very good online or having YouTube videos of somebody showing a lot of their success, if I was able to copy him or her, then I would have those same results. And that is not the way to do it. When it comes to trading, copying others is not going to lead to long-term success. So the faster that you can become independent, not rely on others or think that copying them is going to make you a successful trader, the better off you're going to be. And tip number four is that it takes years, not months. And I've talked about this a lot. Social media is very guilty of making it seem like you can figure this out very fast. Now, some people are gifted and they can figure it out quickly. But most people, if you just put yourself into the average of the overall results when it comes to trading, it takes years to turn the corner, not months. This is not a quick process. I personally believe that it takes 3 full years to get to the point where you have a good understanding of all of the things above that I mentioned, being able to come up with your own process, not relying on others, proper risk management, and everything in between that it takes to become a successful trader. So I think one of the main goals for new traders is to get to that 3-year mark. And one of the most important things on doing so is making sure that you don't blow your account up, stay in business, and take it one day at a time. Because if you can practice patience and you do this for years and you don't stress out because it's not working after a few months because social media made you think that you're supposed to be making millions really quick, then I believe you're doing it the right way and you're going to have a much better chance at being successful. And tip number 5 is that you will never be perfect. We all have this idea of what being a perfect trader is, or we believe that maybe others are perfect traders, but there is no such thing as a perfect trader out there. You're going to make mistakes. And not only are you going to make mistakes in the beginning of your journey, but you're going to make mistakes on your entire journey for the rest of your life as long as you're a trader. The main goal is that we limit those mistakes, but you are never going to be perfect ever. You're going to have days where you lose a little bit more than anticipated. You don't execute well. It happens to everybody. All you can do is learn from it and then make sure not to get down on yourself too much, because if you beat yourself up too much, then a lot of times that's going to mess with future performance. So realize what you did wrong, try to learn from it, accept it for what it is, and then just move on. And tip number 6 is that base hits do add up. I know that everybody's going to have a different strategy, but my strategy really is just base hits. And I've noticed that if I can take those quick moves consistently and pair that with really good risk management, I can have positive results. And I don't think I'm the only one that'll experience this. A lot of people that I've talked to realize that when they stop trying to go for those home runs and they focus on consistently getting those base hits, those small winners, at the end of a week, a month, or a year, it really does add up. So I get the idea of wanting those big winners because it's nice to make a ton of money really quick. But I feel like when you make a lot of money a little too fast in the market, you usually end up giving it all back anyways. If you can focus on consistency, I personally believe that this is going to do a really good thing to your trading performance. And tip number 7, which I think is one of the most important, is don't quit. I believe that the reason most people fail at whatever it is they're doing, and especially when it comes to trading, is because they quit before they're able to really turn the corner and get to where they want to be. There are going to be plenty tough times. During my journey, and even up to this point right now, I've been doing this for almost 6 years. There are a lot of times in between where I doubted every single day and I had no idea if I was going to be able to do this. But I think the main reason that I've been able to figure it out, or at least turn the corner and feel good about what I'm doing each and every day, is simply because I did not quit. It's always going to be a little bit of a roller coaster ride. Welcome to trading. That's just kind of a part of this game. There's going to be a lot of highs. There's going to be a lot of lows. But if you persevere, that's the difference between winners and losers. And if you quit because it got tough, you never really gave yourself a chance to see it through and really try to get to that other side. So those are some tips for beginner traders just starting out on their journey. These are some of the tips that I wish I had known when I was starting out. I think it really would have helped me really early on in my career. So that's it for the video. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully you got some value. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.